here. This is the waterfront. This is what it looks like now. Here's what it'll look like with rail. Next slide. This building here is the historical Dillingham building. All of you know that, of course. And this is Linden's Highway. Actually, it's Linden's Highway becoming Hormona Boulevard. This is what it looks like without rail. Notice here you've got 3 cars, so 3 lanes, and the building is right next to it. Let's see what it looks like with rail. Downtown Honolulu, we have a view plane that probably will never be restored. And by the way, this rail structure runs down Holokewila Street, and it's going to run into what Dr. Abad, who is an archaeologist specializing in Hawaiian archaeology, said is burial central. Literally hundreds, if not thousands, of EVA. Next one. Now, this is University Avenue without rail. Now, this is not part of the section that they're talking about right now, but if they ever extend it, which they promised to do, here's what it's going to look like. Now, this thing is 100 feet in the air because it has to, get over the freeway. And the one thing about steel on steel, it doesn't, the plane that it requires, it doesn't have the same kind of flexibility like this rubber. The city is thinking about building these elevated structures, sitting on the mainland, tearing them down. Here's the Embarcadero in 1991 in San Francisco. The people decided they would tear that down. And here's what it looks like today.
All right. The car student looks now.
Boston, where Mr. Grabowska comes from, where he was the head guy there, they did the big dig, which, put the transit stations and bus stations underground. We here, I'm not sure why we're doing this, but ours will be elevated, and you have to ask yourself this question. Why would you want to do this in a city that relies so strongly on tourism? Now this, you may remember, I think in the year 2008, we tracked it down to that. The city was running all these radio commercials, and they kept on using the word reduce traffic congestion over and over and over. And then, it might have been 2008, 2009, an advertiser poll showed that 73% of the people believe that rail will reduce traffic congestion. Well, the one thing that happens when you sue people, and I'm one of the plaintiffs who sue the city, is you're able to get information that sometimes the public can't get. And so, here's what the city actually said about reducing traffic congestion. City DPS Director Wayne Yoshioka, 2009, the final environmental impact statement, he's quoted as saying, traffic congestion will be worse in the future with rail than what it is today without rail. Here's what the Federal Transit Administration admits. And they say this in their record of decision, page 208. The record of decision is 2010. Quote, many commentators reiterated their concern that the project will not relieve highway congestion in Honolulu. FTA agrees. So, 2 of the principals in building this thing agreed that this won't reduce traffic congestion. And at one time, 72% of the public thought that it would. Well, that's not a... Okay, I'm going to say it. We've all heard we all know the fable about the white elephant, you know. A small village in India accepted a gift of a white elephant, and then the elephant ate so much that it nearly bankrupted the village. If a village was bankrupt, I'm not sure. Well, the point is, of course, is that, you know, you should watch out what you build. Very little discussion in the media about the projected operation and maintenance costs. We took a look at it, and we think that this has some significant information that you should keep in mind. Because even though the construction cost may cost $7 million or $9 million or $11 million, eventually it will be paid off. Probably have to raise taxes and all that, but it'll be paid off. The operating and maintenance costs will go on forever for as long as the system is operating. So here you have, from the city documents, here you have the bus, $270 million. So O&M. Rail, $98 million. Handyman, $62 million. This is annual, for a total of $430 million operation and maintenance. Now, where does the money to pay for this come from? Well, here's what we know so far. From the fare box of the bus, $76 million. The fare box of rail, they estimate $37 million. The handyman, $3 million. Federal subsidy, perhaps $29 million. The rest, $285 million, will come from real property tax, gas tax, vehicle weight tax, and every other tax that the city has. So once the hype on traffic congestion kind of was debunked, they turned to jobs to justify the project. And the city claims that the rail will produce 10,000 new jobs each year. Not for the whole project, each year, 17,000 during the peak construction. Well, let's take a good look at that. 574 million already exported jobs to Italy. That's where they're going to build the rail cars. Rail technology requires skilled workers who have experience in building rail, and it requires importing specialized workers. Here's what the Kiwi officials admitted when they were asked. They admitted that many jobs will require mainly workers with special skills because, quote, we've never built a rail here before. And already information coming out in the news media indicates this. The University of Hawaii Economics Department also did a study, and they predicted only 2,000 local jobs over the life of the project. Not every year, over the life of the project. This is a chart that was we took from the Star Advertiser. And it's about the rail jobs created to date. Now, here you have 90 jobs, and 80 Hawaii residents were hired. That's good. But look at the good jobs. 135 engineers. 82 not from Hawaii, 50 from Hawaii. So you have a total of 252 jobs, 142 from Hawaii, 103 not from Hawaii. Get down to the bottom here, the grand total, 508 jobs, 2,207 from the mainland, 294 from Hawaii, 7 returning residents. This guy was so anxious to show you that we got people coming back home. We managed to find 7. So, when Kiwi got the contract to do the first segment. And this is from memory. They said publicly in the newspapers that they would hire, I think it was 300 and, let's say 400 people, okay, to do the first segment. And the big issue that we have with the city claiming 10,000 jobs each year is that it doesn't make sense. Because, as the contractor told me, you only use 400 workers to do the first segment. When the first segment is done, you use the same guys to do the second segment, the third segment, and so on. So where are the 10,000 jobs coming from? It's hype, and it's sad that they should resort to this. This is a very risky project. City is playing high-stakes gambling with your money. Here are a couple of reasons. First, they're starting in an empty field first instead of from downtown. Now, Rod Haraga is part of our fruit squad, but he's on the mainland right now. And Rod told us, that he had advised Mayor Hanneman to start from downtown and build out toward Kapolei, but Mr. Hanneman decided that it was easier to build from near Kapolei to downtown. So, that doesn't make sense to me, and Rod advised him accordingly, because what happens if you run out of money? In 3 years, you'll get wiped out. In 3 years, you'll be wiped out. If you run out of money, who's going to use it? If you started from downtown, as Rod Haraga and Professor Paulos both agree on, then if you ran out of money, you can use the line, you know? You can pick up ridership. And then when you have enough money, then you can continue. Well, this is my opinion. This project was not driven by engineering. It's driven by politics. Okay, then there's the lawsuit. And I'm one of the plaintiffs, so we think that we will be successful. And of course, there's an election. And we think we're going to win. Perhaps the most important thing, though, is this third one. Neither the FDA nor Congress has yet agreed to award the city $1.5 billion for rail. At the debate that I had with Kurt Caldwell and Peter Carla, Peter Carla made a big thing of President Obama, proposing $250 million for the rail project. He made it sound like it's a done deal. Those of us who have experience in government, we know that to propose something means nothing unless the legislative body, agrees. And there's no agreement. If the transportation bill that's before Congress right now, which seems to be going nowhere, is not passed, you can kiss that $250 million goodbye. That's how risky this thing is. And, when we criticize the city for starting prematurely before the funding is granted, this is one of the reasons. The city hired 10 public relations firms. Now, if anybody wants to question that number, there's a reporter from Civil Beat here. You can ask him because they found out. Spending over $5 million so far in taxpayers' money to promote rail. And it's such a one-sided promotion. They even ran a Star Advertiser editorial criticizing me in their newsletter. I don't think they should do that. They didn't ask me to offer my rebuttal for their newsletter. It's so one-sided, it's biased, it's wrong to use tax